Okay, welcome back. Video 3. In this video, we're going to talk about understanding how to make it, the next steps of how to make it as easy as possible for our customers to say yes. We're going to spend a bit of time talking about relationship tension, how we go about reducing it, how we keep it down, and some of the tools and the processes we're going to use. Okay, so to build and maintain a relationship where the customers really talk to us, we must demonstrate competence and intent. Competence, okay, that's really our back wheel skills. Do we know what we're talking about? Okay, we talked about how for relatively new entrants to the business, where one may not have the experience or whatever, we do have the ability of introducing the empty chair. I may not have all the answers, but my colleague there has been in this business for years and years and years, and I may well go to them to ask them for help. Okay, early as you can when you do that. So that's talking about how do we address competence. Okay, all the technical stuff. The next side is the intent. Intent. Are we here to help our customers? Are we here to make a paycheck, to get a commission? And that is critical that the customers can see that, identify that differentiation as soon as possible. So the skill of intent is actually our ability to demonstrate empathy, and to demonstrate empathy as early as we can to get the relationship tension down. So I would like to spend a couple of minutes and just talk about empathy. There are 3 styles of empathy. There is compassionate, emotional, and cognitive. And it's important that we understand the difference. Compassionate empathy. This is the common understanding of empathy, the bedside manner. Okay. Oh yeah, I know how you feel. Okay. There is emotional empathy. This is almost as though someone's feelings or pain is sort of contagious and someone catches it. Okay. But thirdly, and for us, I believe the most important, is what's called cognitive. Cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy is the ability to think about the minds of others. It's about being able to see the world from their point of view, thinking about where we would be if we were in their shoes, thinking as they might think. Now, as I said earlier, I believe the cognitive empathy is the one which has most value to us in what we do, and is the best way to demonstrate the skill of intent. Because ultimately, in the situation we're in, what are the customers looking to from us? Are they looking for extra friends, or are they looking for a competent professional? Okay. So, how can we demonstrate cognitive empathy in order to get our tension down? Here, I'd like to quote a relatively well-known American, and this is probably a quote that you've heard before. And to start with, it's a bit confusing. It was when Donald Rumsfeld was talking about the possibility of weapons of mass destruction back in Iraq in 2002. And in a speech, he said that there are known knowns, there are known unknowns, there are unknown unknowns, and there are unknown knowns. Okay, how does that equate to us? What we know as we get more and more experience with customers, we know that customers, in their initial question, in their opening questions to us, will generally ask about a very limited number of subjects. They'll ask about price range, they'll ask about resort fees, they'll ask about length of season, or they'll ask sort of technical, do you have new, do you have used, stuff like that. So if we understand the known unknowns, we know the fees, they don't, known unknowns, it allows us to be ready with a competent answer. And in turn, it also allows us to be ready to volunteer the answer to another one of those known, unknown questions. So someone asks us about the length of season, we can answer that, but immediately go in and talk about resort fees. Or they ask us about new use, well, we can answer that and immediately talk about price range. Okay, so it is dealing with the known unknowns. By doing that, it is the illustration that we have the ability to think about the minds of others and to think about the world from their point of view. Put ourselves in their shoes, the questions that they will have for us. That is the skill, how to demonstrate the skill of cognitive empathy. Occasionally you'll get questions, initial questions which are deeper than that, but generally that's an indicator of you are talking to someone who's already an owner or they own elsewhere, and that's a slightly different subject. Okay, so very briefly, just to recap what we've talked about. We've talked about the different types of empathy. We've talked about compassionate, emotional, cognitive, and which one is relevant to us. We've talked about what a fundamental cornerstone the skills of intent and competence are to earning the right. There is no relationship with customers when relationship tension is high. It is our responsibility to get relationship tension down, because until that happens, then customers are not going to talk about what is important to them. And the way we do that is we demonstrate the skill of cognitive empathy. So we deal with the known knowns and the known unknowns. Okay. Finally, another American famous quote, George W. Bush, who said during an election, "It's all about the economy, stupid." Well, I would disagree. In our role, in our business, it's not the economy. It's all about the relationship tension, stupid. Okay, hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Thanks.